Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and we got some crazy news on Twitter from Destiny the Game about some quality of life changes. Not only the ones that are coming in Lightfall, which I'll get into as well, but also changes that are dropping as soon as tomorrow, which is absolutely wild, and I don't think anybody fully expected that. But it is good news because it's been a negative news cycle for Destiny for some time, and I think Lightfall needs to be a place where that changes, and I'm glad they got these changes into the game sooner, some of them, so that way we can kind of get an idea on where they're heading in the future, because Destiny has been on a downslope, like I said, and it's really unfortunate because I do feel like we're heading into the best story element of Destiny that we've ever seen. Lightfall, the beginning of the end of the Light vs. Dark saga, and the final shape. I think all that's going to be absolutely massive, and we know that after the final shape, the game is probably going to change completely as well. So this is just the quality of life changes needed to get us from Lightfall to the final shape, so that way we can really enjoy the next year and all of the new story content and new seasonal content that we are getting. So starting off with those changes, we go, they say, as a preview of things that come in Lightfall, we have some exciting updates coming soon. Tomorrow, all standard armor mods are unlocked for everyone. With big changes coming to build crafting in Lightfall, we want to give everyone a chance to enjoy all mods in their current state. So that tells us that the mods are changing heading into Lightfall. We also know that one of the previous quality of life changes they talked about with Lightfall is the ability to save loadouts, which is absolutely massive and something the game has needed for quite some time. So you'll be able to save your favorites, and that was going to be very, very good. Now, on Twitter, they also went on to announce to community managers that these mods include all Charged with Light mods, all well mods that you would normally buy from Ada, everything except for the seasonal artifact mods and the raid mods. Those will not be given to everybody, but besides that, every single mod, whether you have it or not, I have pretty much all of them because I've been playing continuously, but if you missed any of those mods, they will now be available for free for everybody, and I think that's really huge because I think this having to wait around for Ada to sell them and not having everyone have access to all these various builds you can make with Charged with Light, with the Warmind builds, with especially this season, the Warmind builds, now that we have the Ikelos weapons back and the Seraph weapons as well, I think it's important to have all these available for everybody so that way you can enjoy the builds before it all gets moved around and adjusted with Lightfall. And this has me excited to see where they take the mods in Lightfall, because it sounds like there's going to be some massive changes to the way they work as well, which is going to be very interesting because hopefully, in my personal desire, I want to see the game really adjust how you make builds so that way we can kind of scrap what we know now and really start fresh, but have access to all of the options for everybody. So that way everyone can make those builds and figure it out for themselves. Now, continue on the thread. Get ready to focus up starting next week. Focusing costs for all trials, Iron Banner, Crucible, and Gambit weapons and armor is reduced. I know this was a big complaint during Iron Banner this week, so it's going to be 25 legendary shards instead of 100, and Adept focus will now be reduced from the current amount down to 50, which is huge. Some of the other changes that are coming: Grandmaster Nightfalls arrive on January 17th. In our next update, the Grandmaster power caps and structure will be more approachable for all players while remaining some of the most challenging content. More details coming in this week's TWAP. Obviously, that's going to be massive news once we do read how they're going to change it in the TWAP. I am going to guess that they're going to do something similar like we've seen with this season's seasonal activities. So if you didn't know, the seasonal activities are power capped, and they are all essentially 5 power over what your current power level is. So for example, if I'm 1590, the activity would register as 1595, so you can't over level that. I think that's a good thing, and would definitely eliminate the need to really power grind, which I think is an outdated thing in Destiny 2 right now, and I know a lot of people would be excited if they were to change that, so you don't have to log on for the weekly pinnacles every single week, and hope that you get the right RNG so that way you get the right slots in order to get the max level. It's not super hard, but it is time consuming and fairly unnecessary at this point in Destiny, in my personal opinion. I do think the power leveling is just not really a concept that is needed anymore, and I hope this is the direction they go. We've seen it with the legendary campaign as well. I hope that's a thing, that you have the legendary difficulty be power capped as well. And really, if they do away with power in general, I wouldn't mind it whatsoever. They would just have to come up with a new system and a new reason for you to jump into Vanguard playlists, Crucible, Gambit, all the stuff. Because as much as people don't like to admit it, having those pinnacles available does make those playlists a little bit more healthy, because it encourages players to play on all these playlists that they might not normally be fully enticed to do so. Like, there's really no other reason to run standard strikes unless you just enjoy it, but that's not going to be the majority of the player base. So I am interested to see where that heads in the future. We also know there's an in-game LFG coming with Lightfall, also massive, and between that and the loadout system that we're getting, it's just massive changes coming that I think are going to be good for the health of the game. Now, the questions that still remain are how they're going to adjust the power creep that we've seen lately, how they're going to handle the complaints of the PvP community, and how they are going to handle a seasonal model, which is a little bit stale. Are they going to be able to adjust that and provide new types of content besides the standard 3 or 6-man playlist activities or seasonal activities that we get that tend to follow the same pattern? Because I personally don't mind it. I think it's fine because I understand that I'm not going to sink 100 hours every single season into Destiny. I spend a lot of time in Destiny, but I also know that there's times where I'm just going to take a break, play other things, and especially with how long Destiny's been out, and because there's been no sunsetting of weapons, we have everything we could possibly need, and everything that comes out has to be better for us to actually want to grind for it. Crafting has lessened that a little bit. I think crafting has overall been a good thing, but I'm excited to see that. We also know that at some point in the near future, we're getting changes to adept weapons, that they're going to be more on par or better than the crafted versions, which is important as well. So I'm excited to see that. That's another quality of life change. Overall, I'm excited. I can't wait to see where this heads coming to Lightfall. I'm really glad that we're seeing these changes early so we can get our hands on and get a feel for how it's going to work out. If it's a good change, that they can tinker with it once Lightfall does drop as well. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited about these changes? Are these positive changes in your opinion? My name is Jopa. I hope you have a good one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. I am going to have a lot of content on this channel with Destiny 2 on the road to Lightfall, and I can't wait. I'm very excited personally, so I hope you are too. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.